You laugh. You work. You post the happy pictures. Everyone says, you're doing great now. You've moved on. But late at night, when there is no one looking, when you are by yourself, stripped bare of all the armor you have worn for so long, it's quiet, and it hits you. You're not fine. You're just numb. You didn't heal. You adapt. You covered the wound with routines, distractions, smiles. But inside, it's still tender, still bleeding, just quieter. How do you know if you are broken? Here are 6 signs that you are not broken. You survived. No. 1, you didn't cry because you were strong. You thought crying would make you weak, so you never let those tears fall. You put on a brave face and soldiered on. You picked up the pieces of your shattered heart and built a wall around it. You thought you were being strong, but you were just hurting in silence. You convinced yourself that you didn't need anyone, that you didn't need love. You didn't need connection. You didn't need anything or anyone to be happy. After all, you had everything under control, right? You didn't cry because you were strong. But sometimes, late at night, when the silence becomes deafening and the memories come flooding back, those tears fall. And you wonder why it hurts so much. Why you feel like you're drowning in a sea of pain. Why you can't stop thinking about him. Why nothing makes sense anymore. Because strength is not the absence of tears. It's the ability to cry and still stay. To be vulnerable and still be whole. You didn't scream because you stopped feeling. You pushed down the pain, buried it deep inside you. You thought that you were protecting yourself, shielding your heart from any more hurt. You told yourself that you didn't need to scream, that you didn't need to feel anything anymore. You could handle this. You could handle it all. And for a while, you did. You put on a mask and carried on. You went to work. You talked to people. You laughed. But behind that mask, you are dying. You stopped feeling because you were afraid to feel the pain. The sharp, stabbing, soul-wrenching pain that comes with loving someone so fiercely only to have them ripped away from you. You thought stopping feeling would protect you, but it almost killed you. Because feeling is what makes us human. It's what makes us alive. It's what allows us to connect with others, to empathize, to love. And without feeling, you became a shell of your former self. You became someone you didn't recognize. And you wondered where you went wrong. Why you felt so lost, so empty, so numb. Because protection isn't the absence of feeling. It's the ability to feel and still be whole. You didn't speak because you had nothing to say. You shut down. You withdrew. You didn't want to talk. Didn't want to listen. You didn't want to be reminded of what you'd lost, of what you'd never get back. So you stayed silent. You closed off your heart and mind and waited for it all to go away. You thought being silent was a way to cope, to heal. You could just push through this, right? But silence can be deafening. It can amplify the pain, the loneliness, the despair. It can make you feel even more disconnected, more alone. And you started to forget who you were, what you liked, what made you happy. Because speaking isn't the absence of words. It's the ability to speak and still be heard. You didn't ask for help because you thought you didn't need it. You thought you could handle this on your own, that you didn't need anyone. You were strong, independent, so you pushed everyone away. You turned down their offers of support, their words of comfort, their hugs. You didn't want their pity. You didn't want to be reminded of how broken you were. And so you suffered in silence, carrying your heavy burden alone. You escaped into the darkness, into the nothingness, anywhere to stop feeling the pain, the sharp, stabbing, soul-wrenching pain that comes with loving someone so fiercely only to have them ripped away from you. You thought closing off your heart and mind would protect you, but it almost killed you. You stopped dreaming, stopped hoping, stopped believing in anything, because dreaming isn't the absence of thought. It's the ability to dream and still believe. You didn't eat because you forgot to take care of yourself because you were too busy taking care of everyone else. You were always there for them, always ready with a helping hand, always willing to make the ultimate sacrifice. You never said no. You never put your own needs first because you didn't think you deserved it. You were always putting out fires, solving problems, fixing things. You never stopped to think about yourself. You never stopped to ask what you needed, what you wanted, what would make you happy. Because eating isn't the absence of hunger. It's the ability to nourish yourself and still have enough to share. You didn't sleep because it was too painful. You lay awake at night, staring at the ceiling, counting the cracks. You couldn't stop thinking about the good times, the bad times, the funny times, the sad times. You couldn't stop replaying the memories in your head, trying to make sense of it all. You were desperate for answers, for closure, for peace. But all you got was silence. Deafening silence. You were drowning in a sea of thought, and you didn't know how to swim. You thought escaping into sleep would bring you peace, but it brought you nightmares. You were trapped in a never-ending loop of pain, and you didn't know how to break free. Because sleeping isn't the absence of dreams. It's the ability to rest and still feel at peace. When we try to numb our pain, when we try to escape from our feelings, we end up hurting ourselves even more. We become prisoners of our own making, trapped in a cycle of suffering that we don't know how to escape. The good news is that it doesn't have to be this way. There is another way, a way to heal, to grow, to thrive, a way to love and be loved, to laugh and cry, to live and be truly alive. What if you were strong enough to feel your emotions, to process them, to express them in a healthy way? What if you were brave enough to ask for help, to reach out, to connect with others? What if you were willing to dream again, to hope, to believe in something bigger than yourself? Healing isn't about being fixed. It's about becoming whole. It's about accepting yourself for who you are, scars and all. It's about embracing your pain, your struggles, It's about learning to love yourself fiercely, to be unapologetically you. Healing isn't easy. It takes time, effort, patience, self-compassion, professional help. But it's worth it, because true healing, true growth, true change can only happen when we are willing to feel the pain, to embrace the discomfort, to step outside of our comfort zone and into the unknown. Are you ready to start your healing journey today? Because you are stronger than you think you are. You are more resilient than you believe. And you are worthy of love, joy, and happiness. Don't settle for surviving. Choose to heal, to grow, to thrive. You've got this.